I wanted to start off with an image here to get us thinking: physical, mental, emotional, all about strength. And this is the time, I don't know about all the other places in the world, but certainly in the United States, we are struggling. And school is just around the corner for us. Uh, the big talk these days is, what's school going to look like? Is it going to be in a building? Is it going to be online? Is it going to be somewhere in between? And depending on where you are, this illness is like we're all in the same storm, but not in the same boat. And depending on where you are, things could look very different. In so deciding here, this hybrid model that schools are looking at is as diversified as ever. The goal is to de-densify. There's the word that's being used. De-densify, make for less people. And it's blowing budgets just figuring out how to stagger busing to get children to the schools. It's been a bit of, maybe first grade would come on Monday, second grade would come on Tuesday. It's any number of things. It's also what's become relevant for everyone is the great, we're calling it digital divide. So in certain areas of the country, kids don't have access to internet, and we had to switch up just like that. And we may have to do the same again this year. What may start in person may overnight become totally digital. So when we think about teachers and some of the things that are important to teachers, safety, health and safety, emotional well-being, and of course, digital competence. So in my presentation today, I'm going to try and talk a little bit about those things. We have some presentations coming up a little bit later that will deal a little bit more with digital competence, but this kind of really hones in to teachers. I hope today to give you some activities that can be done via online or in the classroom, a hybrid of both, to give you a framework so that you can help kids to develop skills of success, digital competency, as well as social and emotional growth. I want to talk to you a little bit about understanding behavioral escalation, categorizing some disruptive behaviors, and giving you some diffusion techniques. So here's a first one here. This could be used in a classroom, a little bit online, and it's just about self-awareness. It's about ways to calm yourself down so that you can, basically deal with the things that are going on. It's a great one to do even online, perhaps at a morning meeting. Sharing favorites. This is a great way to grow a sense of belonging, and that's going to become crucial this time as the year progresses, gets started and progresses. And one great way to do is sharing favorites. I'd invite you in the classroom, maybe share a quote that is really speaking to you during these times. It helps to connect us as people. And a great way to do so with kids. Relationship, communication skills, these are 21st century skills, as well as cultural awareness, sense of belonging. Dr. Jeff Roach spoke a little bit of storytelling and story sharing in particular as a way to build belonging, as a way to commonplace, the human condition, the human experience. So these are important here. It's a great connector, be it online or in person. So that's a great skill there to share. Collaboration and problem solving. Kids naturally put on skits, a little bit of dramatic play. This is a conflict resolution. It taps into creativity. A lot of these are neurodiverse type activities that can be done with children to help to develop these kinds of skills. As you see here, very engaging. You're solving your own problems through collaboration. As a follow-up to this one, and I really like this one, it's a flexibility of thought. As young minds develop, seeing outside of themselves and seeing another person's point of view is a tough skill to develop. It comes with age, it comes with cognitive development, but this really takes you into each role and each feeling that kids have. So it's a great way to focus in on commonalities, flexibility of thought. So those are some good ones there. And a number one I have here is, of course, non-contingent interactions. As teachers, we interact with kids all the time. A lot of times it's, good job on that math problem. I like how you showed all your strategies. But this is a different kind of interaction, a non-contingent one, giving a child the time of day, showing interest and importance in them as being a human being. This will become crucial if perhaps we instantly have to go online, or if we're doing a hybrid, or maybe a teacher is in a classroom where also you've got kids who are in the classroom but not physically in the classroom. The way it's going here in the United States, just to begin with, schools sent out information or asked questions of parents, and it's presumed that 20% of the kids won't show up. They will be certainly online, if not more, as things progress. So wanted to put that one out there for you. Going to move into a bit of success skills and the things you have to think about for this. What behaviors do students need in order to have success? And you also got to think about the range of behaviors that kids could have. I pulled out this one here. I was torn between showing or illustrating or wearing a mask, and also a digital competence. I went with wearing a mask, and I have to say, really that was decided in a matter of just a few days, because what school districts are saying now, in order to have in-person at all, there's going to be masks. And hey, lots of varieties. You've got your sports teams, you got the ever slimming black mask, and of course, just something fun. So regardless, wearing a mask, if school is at all to be in person, a mask is going to become essential. This is a teacher, kind of fills me with a sense of panic. I got to tell you, how are you going to keep that mask on? How could anybody keep that mask on for hours? So part of how to make this work for our classrooms is teaching kids how to properly wear a mask. And again, I just put these out as ideas. And in order to have a framework like this, and you can use this for really anything that you need, you have to think about, first, what do you want to see? What's the ideal thing that you want to see? And then you have to take a look at the total opposite. It's like the positive and then the negative, the total opposite. And if you're taking a look there, you're probably already thinking, what could the opposite be? There you go. So I kind of popped some of those up. You could think of more. This is simply an example. And I really want to highlight the framework of it. I'm using wearing a mask, but this could be for anything you need. And I think that digital competence coming in at the beginning of the year would be a great one for doing this. And that really does require some thought. What do you want to see in digital competence? And what would be the total opposite? These kinds of things. This is a gradual release as how you're explaining this. You as the educator are going to show the full range, the yes, the no, and the sometimes. You only want to teach the kids the yes, that's the part that you want them to, gravitate towards. But this somewhat category, this is a great place for both student voice and evaluation. You see the yes, you see the no. Now, we've all worked with kids long enough to know that they're always testing the line. And it's part of intellectual development. This is a great place right here to have kids give you the, well, what about this? And is this okay? And how close to the line could I get? This is a great one here. And it also is great to serve as an evaluation. Here, I'm going to pop this up here, this next one. For example, you as the educator, you can show an example of one of these and say to the kids, okay, which way was good? What did I have? What component of this did I have that was good? What component of this did I miss? Oh, kids love to identify what you've done wrong. That's for sure. So this is a framework for teaching really any skill you would need to help a child to be successful. Gradual release, and I do, a we do, a you do. You want to focus the child in on the yes. We don't want to teach them how to do the wrong thing, but you give the full range. So things are, masks in particular, this is not only a skill of success, this is a skill of survival. And school, can't carry on in person without the mask. This is here. That's why I chose that one. Digital competence might be another good one. We've all been online a bit to see how that went or how that didn't go. And I'm sure in your own mind you're thinking, I'd like to see digital competence look like this. Here are the things that, the opposite things that got in the way. And here's the in-between that may have made me a little crazy. So there we go. This next part here, I want to transition on over. So what percentage of communication do you think is delivered non-verbally? Just a little bit of thought. You can pop in the chat box if you like. Non-verbal communication counts for a lot. So it does pay to know what is seen. I put a picture of this lovely lady, our healthcare professionals, both mental, emotional, physical well-being. They are masters at nonverbal communication. Eye contact, you don't want to directly, maybe a little bit looking down, looking up. You want to keep your expression soft, gestures, posture, body orientation. You don't want to appear to be a conflict. And this helps to keep behavior non-escalated or de-escalate behavior. A good rule here is a 45-degree angle. Proximity, of course, proximity these days is much further than what it used to be, but 1.5 to 3 feet. You don't want to enter somebody's personal space. Paralinguistics is all about tone and cadence and all the different ways that things that people catch. And of course, humor goes a long way to diffuse. So I'd like to help you to understand a little bit of how behavior escalates. And if you understand this, then it helps you to recognize what you're seeing, and then it helps you to diffuse or de-escalate. So kids in a classroom, very often behavior begins with just something as simple as off task. If you've been teaching a while, the moment you see that, you might say, oh gosh, here we go. Here we go. We're getting started. I know how this is gonna go because I've worked with this kid for a while. So the next thing after off task, arguing. I'm sure you've been in that with your own children or in children in a school. There's a bit of a bickering back and forth. It does further on escalate and they're gonna defy you. And I'm sure we've been in this unfortunate instance too in schools, aggression, verbal, physical aggression. This is a pattern of behavior escalation. It is predictable. In so understanding it, it helps you to put a stop to it, give it a different trajectory. I want to kind of give you an example. This is a little bit of the days when we were, say, in a classroom, and I've numbered them for you here. And I'm going to kind of run through them here a little bit that you can see. Think about what you saw before with the off task, the argue, the defiance, the verbal, physical aggression. We're going to see if we can identify where these are. I'm not going to read them to you, just quickly you can take a look here. Looks like a normal scene, a little bit of a back and forth that you might see in a classroom. I'm wondering, can you identify 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, chat box if you wish to participate. Where is the off task? Where does that begin? About right there. A little bit of off task there, right there at the beginning. Next, the arguing. Where's the beginning of the arguing? Take a look right there, the very beginning. These are great places to intercede. because as it progresses, it gets harder and harder to de-escalate. Take a look here for the next one, defiance. There it is right there. See how the teacher has asked, please return to your seat and finish reading. Boom. There it is. Take a look at this next one. Verbal and physical aggression. Who initiated it in this case? Who was the first one to offer the next step up? Looks like a ladder or steps progressively. And take a look at where we were in kind. Kind of gives you a nice overview. I'd like to share with you a few diffusers. And these are nice strategies that can be used in a variety of situations to help to diffuse things before they progress. If you'd like to participate there in the chat box, I'd ask you to, reflect upon some of your conversations you've had with kids. What's something they say that maybe starts to get the ball rolling in a direction maybe you don't want to go? You keep these in mind. I understand, I'm sorry, probably so. Nevertheless, they work in a lot of situations to diffuse. If you have in mind perhaps a conversation a child has, said to you that kind of got you going with this, can you categorize it? They usually fall in 4 different categories: past history, bringing up something of the old, threats and ultimatums, I'm going to tell my mom, so-and-so this, so-and-so that, defending your credibility, whatever it is you're doing, this is boring, this is dumb, you don't know, you're not teaching that right, whatever. Or the my particular favorite, pushing buttons. Teaching is a relationship of intimates, if you think about it. They know how to push your buttons. And think about those, I understand, probably so, how they can diffuse this. It's saying to a child, I hear you, we're going to continue on with our education. So it's a nice strategy there to help you with diffusing. I've also provided here a list of other diffusers as well that you can take a look at. And it's a way to de-escalate things before they kind of get going. And I think this goes very well with in person, and also this also works online as we're developing online education a little bit more this year. And there's some information there. A resource I really wanted to share with everyone is differentbrains.org. Felicia and I met through differentbrains.org. It is a site dedicated to neurodiversity. Had the pleasure of writing a few articles for them that are posted on the site. Great resource, and I hope you take advantage of it. It's something there for everyone. And I think I'm